Today's episode is called Sad Hive and Mean Hive. I've got one sad hive and I've got one mean hive, and I've got to do something about both of them. If you remember in the last episode, you saw me installing 3 brand new hives. Those are the empty packages on tops of those hives that had contained the bees. And I really made sure that I had entrance reducers on them and that I had packaged them all correctly and everything. But you'll also notice that there's nothing really weighing those hives down. And here's a view from the webcam that I have installed out there. I have a pan tilt zoom webcam. And because the ranch is 2.5 hours drive away, I like to be able to watch the hives and see what's happening. Well, one night, to my horror, I looked out there and the lid had blown off of the hive on the far right. That's hive number 6. And so I hopped in the car and drove out there in the pitch dark and put the lid back on it and put ratchet straps on all 3 of those hives. That's what I should have done to begin with, but I thought that the lids were heavy enough. Mistake. So, unfortunately, when I came back another 3 days later and opened up the hive, I looked in there and there was only a small cluster of bees clustered around the queen. All the rest of them had drowned themselves in the feeder. So I did what's called a newspaper combine. What I did was I moved the bottom box up that had the queen and the little cluster of bees, and I bought a whole new package of bees and put it downstairs in a box below, separated the 2 by newspaper. So now the bottom box did not have a queen. So within a couple of days, the theory is they'll chew through the newspaper, they'll like each other, and they'll become one happy family. Now let's move to my mean hive. Hive number 1 has always been the strongest hive. It's produced more honey, but it's also got the more aggressive bees.
We got a queen here.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to split hive number 1 and form a new hive out of the top box plus a brand new queen that you just saw there. And the theory is that by reducing the sheer numbers of bees, that will make them a little bit less aggressive. Now what you're going to see here is that I'm going to be using an awful lot of smoke, way more smoke than you would normally use in working a calm hive. And the reason I'm using so much smoke is to completely thwart their ability to communicate the alarm pheromone, which is a scent that they give off when they are perturbed. So what I'm trying to do here is to just get them as calm as possible. In the last few weeks, whenever I've tried to work this hive, they have literally chased me off. There have been so many coming after me. And you're going to see in just a minute exactly how that plays out. You'll see the bees attacking the camera.
Box off and set it on there.
So that top box contains brood and nectar and pollen, a little bit of honey. I'm going to take it off and set it on a new bottom board that I've equipped with the small beetle barrier strips that you can see there, the metal strips around it. And then I'll put a feeder on top of it and a top cover on it. And then I will reduce the entrance on it by putting some grass in the entrance. And so then those bees will think that that's the correct place for them to live. I'll give them a new queen, and then they will become comfortable with that queen after a matter of a couple of days, and I'll have a brand new hive out of it. Now I've just taken off that box, and you can now see the bees are going to go crazy, and they're not only hitting me in the face, but they're attacking the camera. They're attacking anything that looks like a foreign object. Now you see as I've removed that top box, it has yanked loose some wax that they have built between the 2 boxes, and so there's some larvae that you can see that's been kind of mess out of that loose. And so this is not at all the way bees normally behave in a calm hive. You normally don't have to battle this many that are swarming around your face. So that's the reason that I decided I needed to split this hive up, and hopefully that will calm them down some. So I removed one frame that has capped brood in it and some nectar and pollen, and that will give me enough space to place the queen cage in there. That queen cage is a brand new queen that I just bought from Bee Weaver down in Navasota, and I'll place it here between the two. I've already removed the little cork stopper, so they will be able to start eating their way through the candy stopper, and eventually after a couple of days they'll free the queen after they have gotten a good whiff of her pheromone, and they will believe that she is their queen. Now normally you leave a hive queenless for a couple of days before you put a new queen in there. So I'm taking a real chance here that they won't just immediately kill the queen when they eat through there. But I'm giving them a feeder full of sugar water, sugar syrup, mixed 1-to-1, and so they should be able to enjoy themselves in that hive. And then I'll come back in about a week and I'll take that queen cage out of there that'll be empty. I'll add another box on top of this one because as you can tell, this hive is now pretty much full. There's really no place to expand into right now. I'm also leaving off the inner cover, and that will seal off the top of this thing so that other bugs will not be able to get in and cause problems coming in through the outside. Then I'll top off the feeder on hive number 1, and you'll notice that I have put a new box where I took off the old box. There's a new one and it's full of empty frames. So that hive can now, instead of swarming around my face every time, it will now have some work to do trying to build comb in that new third super that's on top, and hopefully that will calm them down.